On Thursday, Russia launched 574 kamikaze drones and 40 ballistic missiles into civilian districts of Ukraine, where the American firm FlexLit was operating. These were not attacks on soldiers. They were strikes on homes, schools, and crowded streets. 9 civilians dead, 19 wounded, 5 Americans bleeding on foreign ground. In the wreckage of a ruined neighborhood, a mother's scream sliced through the smoke. Why my boy? Why him? For Moscow, it was victory. For Washington, a deliberate insult. For Ukraine, a fight to endure. Within hours, Trump in the White House and Zelensky in Kyiv locked eyes through a secure channel. Rage burned on both ends. No compromise, no delay, no retreat. The answer would be a counterstrike so precise, so crushing, that Russia itself would feel the flames it had unleashed. August 20th, 2025. The skies above Ukraine ripped open with fire. Without warning, Russia carried out one of its most brutal barrages since the war began. 574 kamikaze drones and 40 ballistic missiles streaked across the horizon in a perfectly timed swarm. Their destinations were not trenches or tank columns. This time, Moscow's wrath was aimed at ordinary homes, high-rise apartments and thriving commercial blocks. Explosions ripped apart the western city of Zaporizhia, where FlexLit, a major U.S. manufacturer, ran its plants. Within minutes, warehouses and residential towers vanished in fireballs. Casualties mounted fast. 9 dead on impact, 19 wounded, including 5 Americans. Smoke and shattered glass filled the air as survivors clawed through debris, screaming for loved ones. In the midst of the devastation, one image froze even battle-hardened soldiers. A Ukrainian mother on her knees in the rubble, her son buried beneath. Her wail rose above the roar of distant detonations. Why my boy? Why him? Her agony echoed across the district, a reminder that this was not combat. It was murder. By mid-morning, sirens wailed endlessly through multiple cities as firefighters and medics raced from strike to strike. The attack wasn't simply force. It was a message. Russia would go deep, kill civilians, even hit American companies if it meant spreading terror. The world watched in disgust. For President Zelensky in Kyiv and President Trump in Washington, this was more than another battlefield report. It was provocation, insult, a direct challenge. And as smoke still rose over burning neighborhoods, one reality crystallized. America and Ukraine could not remain silent. Retaliation was coming. What would you think if Ukraine and the U.S. struck Russian territory side by side? Tell me in the comments. And now see how both leaders reacted. Word of Russia's strike raced through secure networks into the highest offices in Washington and Kyiv. The figures stunned every listener. 574 drones and 40 missiles hurled at civilians, more than 200 buildings damaged, 46 reduced to ashes, 9 innocent lives erased in seconds, 5 Americans bleeding in streets Russia swore to destroy. In the Oval Office, Trump's jaw hardened as reports rolled in. This, he growled, is not just an attack on Ukraine. This is an attack on the United States. His words sliced the air like steel. Across the Atlantic, Zelensky appeared on a secure line, pale but burning with fury. If we don't strike back now, tomorrow there will be 500 dead, 5,000 wounded, 50,000 homeless. Ukraine cannot wait. America cannot wait. Then General Raymond Cole, U.S. European Command Chief, spoke. His voice rumbled with controlled rage. Russia thinks they can hide behind terror. They think killing civilians and Americans will break us. They're wrong. For every missile they fire, we send 10. For every drone they launch, we erase their bases from the map. His vow met a silence more powerful than applause. The call lasted minutes. The decision lasted forever. No talks, no ceasefire, only retaliation. A joint strike, fast, overwhelming, unforgettable. Less than an hour later, encrypted orders flashed across satellites and cables binding 2 nations in iron resolve. The mission bore a cold name whispered through command centers. Operation Iron Thunder. It would be unlike anything yet seen. 2 waves, perfectly sequenced. Ukraine's swarm would open the attack. America's deep precision would finish it. From underground hangars, over 200 combat drones armed with explosives and radar jammers were readied. 48 HIMARS and 90 Vilka-M systems would bombard Belgorod and Kursk, ripping apart supply hubs. But that was only the beginning. In Poland's night sky, 20 B-21 Raider stealth bombers waited. Their orders: obliterate Engels Air Base and Saratov's missile depots, holding 60 nuclear-capable bombers and stockpiles of hypersonics. Beneath the Black Sea, 3 Virginia-class submarines lurked, tubes loaded with 120 Tomahawk cruise missiles aimed at fuel depots, command posts, and radar sites. Above, 36 F-35S and 18 F-22 Raptors prepared to sweep Russia's skies clear, jamming defenses and striking down anything that flew. The logic was merciless. Ukraine's swarm plus America's heavy strike equals collapse. Command centers, airfields, supply lines, all shattered in a single night. In the war room, countdown began. General Cole's voice cut the silence. August 21st, 2025, 23:59. The sky over Ukraine was calm, until it wasn't. In 3 minutes, the horizon glowed with fire. 1,200 Ukrainian combat drones rose from hidden silos, roads, and camouflage trailers, humming like an iron swarm. To an untrained eye, they looked like stars lifting into night. To Russian radar, they were chaos. The first wave dove at Belgorod and Kursk. S-300S and S-400S hurled 300 interceptors in 10 minutes. Too late. Too few. 150 drones broke through, torching fuel depots and armored convoys. 25 T-90 tanks erupted, ammo cooking off in chains of blasts. Rail yards buckled as rockets shattered tracks, destroying 11 munitions trains. Even as drones struck, the second wave arrived. From Poland's shadow, 20 B-21 bombers slipped into Russian airspace unseen. At 1:20, payloads rained on Engels Air Base. 16 hangars disintegrated with over 30 nuclear bombers inside. Saratov's depot followed seconds later, its blast shattering windows 40 miles away. From under the Black Sea, subs launched 126 Tomahawks. Dozens of command posts and radar grids went dark. One missile vaporized a bunker, killing at least 43 senior Russian officers. Above eastern Ukraine, F-35S and F-22S swept the skies, shredding Su-35 fighters, 17 downed in 30 minutes. Jammers silenced Russian comms across 300 miles. On the ground, 90 Vilka-M systems leveled Kursk's logistics centers, smoke plumes rising 25,000 feet. By 3 o'clock, Russia's western defenses were collapsing. In 4 hours, over 300 armored vehicles, 60 aircraft, billions in assets destroyed. Command networks paralyzed, radar blinded, fuel gutted. In Kyiv and Washington, leaders watched live feeds as iron thunder burned across maps. Zelensky whispered to his generals, "For the first time, Russia bleeds where it thought it was untouchable." In the Situation Room, Trump leaned forward, satellite light glinting off his face. "This," he said quietly, "is only the beginning." By sunrise, the battle was over, but consequences were only beginning. Across Russia's frontier, silence replaced artillery thunder, not because Moscow won, but because its defense network lay shattered. Intelligence confirmed the scale. Key radar sites offline, supply arteries cut, years of investment gone in a night, and the effects rippled far beyond Ukraine. NATO convened an emergency session. Brussels buzzed. Moscow's credibility cracked. Tokyo, Berlin, London ran a single headline: America strikes back. Global markets shook, oil surged, defense stocks soared. In Moscow, the ruble crashed to a 20-year low. In Kyiv, Zelensky addressed his nation. Russia wanted fear. Instead, it awakened resolve. Ukraine stands taller today because we do not stand alone. His words rang from Warsaw to Paris. At the Pentagon, reporters packed tight as Trump stepped forward. His voice was calm, each syllable a hammer. When Russia sent 574 drones and 40 missiles into civilian homes, they thought America would look away. Instead, they watched 40 of their own strongholds vanish. This is not escalation. This is justice. Then General Cole's warning: let every adversary understand, logistics are not weakness, allies are not bargaining chips. Strike an American interest, and you awaken the full weight of our arsenal. We do not forget, we do not forgive, and we do not lose. The message thundered worldwide. Russia's act of terror had turned into a lesson for every hostile power. Together, America and Ukraine had proven they could pierce the heart of Russia. What began on August 20th as Moscow's attempt to intimidate Ukraine with 574 drones and 40 missiles ended less than 24 hours later in disaster for the Kremlin. Bases gone, fuel depots flattened, command hubs silent. It wasn't just a tactical victory, it was a strategic earthquake. For Ukraine, the night of Iron Thunder proved it no longer fought alone. Zelensky standing before his people declaring, "Terror makes us stronger," marked a turning point. For America, the strike avenged 9 innocent lives and 5 wounded citizens. It declared that no attack on U.S. allies would ever go unanswered. Around the world, NATO breathed easier. Adversaries stayed quiet. The age of hesitation was over. America and Ukraine wrote a new chapter. Precision, unity, and overwhelming power tearing down even Russia's strongest walls. Yet amid statistics and satellite images, one image endured: a mother weeping in the rubble for her son. This war is not about lines on a map. It is about survival, dignity, and freedom itself. The lesson is unmistakable. Russia lit a fire it cannot control, and that fire burns as a warning. Strike America or its allies and face annihilation. If you stand with our troops and believe American strength must never waver, like, comment, and subscribe to this channel.